Hello everybody, my name is Ian Kirk Pattycake. I'm an author and robot, and welcome to the channel Pattycake Kirk Pattycake, and welcome to our second annual, does that count as an annual, PitchFit on the channel. I know. 2 times. We're getting into what? 10 to 12 books now. I think there were 6 books on the last one. There are going to be 6 books on this one, so get ready if you have no idea what I'm talking about. PitchFit is the event on this channel where indie authors or small authors or whatever, what have you, small creators, indie creators. PitchFit is the event on this channel where indie creators, indie authors especially, send me their pitches for their books or their creative projects. I pitch them to you guys, and hopefully I can help unite people looking for new creative projects and new creators. So I'm not going to say a whole lot, just if you like what I do on this channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more, because this is going to be hopefully a quarterly adventure so that I can bring new content to you guys all of the time. So now sit back, relax, and enjoy the pitches. A lumen from the planet Septo wakes up from a coma in the middle of a spaceship with no supplies to speak of. If she doesn't find anything soon, she'll die. Good news. A big, old, abandoned spaceship is drifting past. She breaks in and starts looking around for supplies. Bad news, it's not abandoned. Worse news, it's occupied by the Night Captain, a human scientist notorious for capturing other members of her species, vivisecting them and freezing them alive for science. Even worse, Mira gets caught. Escape the Night Ship, a YA sci-fi by Molly Blake. The author is currently querying Escape the Night Ship, so keep your eye out for it in the near future. Until then, if you're interested in following her creativity, her process, and some of her book reviews or short stories, head on over to mollyb.blog.wordpress.com, link down below. In finding herself, a young woman discovers a destiny she could never have imagined. After 100 years of peace on the remote continent known simply as the Kingdom, evidence of the mysterious disease-spreading beings known as the Sorn have been discovered. After completing an 8-month wilderness tour, Bologna Stanek is ignorant of the threat as she arrives to the nation's capital to attend the city's week-long summer festival. Along with 3 other members of her tour group, Bologna hopes to enjoy the week's festivities while exploring her newfound feelings for her guide, Luta, a member of the ancient, enigmatic Zuni tribe. As the festival is about to begin, news of the Sorn incursion and the contagion event across the country reaches the capital. As the kingdom's defenses mobilize to protect its citizens, fate brings Bologna to a new realization about the Sorn and their connection to the Zuni territories. Knowing an invasion of the capital is inevitable, she must choose between protecting the city and its citizens or Luta and his homeland. The Great Migration, science fiction novel by Steve Ramirez. Even evil must be planted before it can take root. The story begins with Lord Death, the enemy and destroyer of all life. His evil is spread to our world through a single seed, a seed corrupted by sinister forces. What will come from the seed once it falls into the hands of man, and what evil will grow from it? These questions and more will be answered. Infernal Seeds is a narrated animatic horror series that features multiple voice actors. It was written, drawn, and animated by ReapersHorror. Though it is horror, much humor can be found throughout. One can easily tell that its roots are held deeply in the classic horror comic books as well as campy low-budget horror films. In a fairy tale world turned dystopian nightmare, one spectral jester must lead a young idealistic artist across perilous lands and into the court of the eldritch tyrant, known only as the Carrion King. All hail the Carrion King. The words rolled off the lips of the pallid jester that washed up on the shores of Brookshire on that fateful summer evening. A jester that to all appeared dead, but nonetheless got up and made his way into town. In the tavern of Brookshire, the jester meets another young jester called Isaac, who aspires to perform on the stage of the West. The jester offers him the opportunity to travel to the very court of the Carrion King and to perform there, an opportunity that is every jester's wildest dream. However, there is a quiet war that rages for the very soul of morality, a war in which the jester is an ageless veteran. The Carrion King was defied once again, and it is fated that he will be again. Isaac would defeat the West and its foul master should he refute the pleasure and sin it can offer. But many more a virtuous man than he has fallen to its temptations over the ages. All hail the Carrion King, a fantasy dystopia by Thomas Godfrey. A modern Seattleite college student teams up with Vlad the Impaler to kill vampires. Cammy, an ordinary modern hipster, is rescued from a horde of vampires by Vlad the Impaler, and even ends up living with him. Mine's out of the gutter about that, everyone. This isn't that kind of story. The unlikely duo bring their very disparate skill sets together to try and put an end to a mysterious horde of Hollywood-style vampires. All the while, Cammy's cop friend, who wants much more than to be a friend, suspects her new roommate is much worse than he appears, and a friendly werewolf for hire tags along with Cammy and Vlad to help as little as possible. She discovers that there is a lot more to the world than she thought. Besides vampires, there are occult orders, monsters, and the scariest monster of all, agents of the United States government. Dracula's New Guest, an urban fantasy by Amaya Tenshi. This is intended to be a launch for a historical fiction series with Vlad the Impaler, and if audiences are interested, a spin-off which would follow some of the modern characters. Jack Fox, a watchmaker turned vigilante, struggles to survive the mean streets of a city occupied by a foreign power, accused of a murder he didn't commit. You must find the killer, or suffer a fate worse than death. A noir, locked room mystery in a unique gas lamp fantasy setting. Memories in the City tells the story of one man as he struggles with ghosts from his past. Memories in the City by Cliff Hamrick. And that would make the 6 books featured on the channel this order. All of them will be linked down in the description below if you would like to check out any of these authors or artists, and I highly recommend that you do because they sound amazing. So, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you find your new best read of the year, the spooky season, and have a great weekend. Don't die.